Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Jai Girivaradari Janavallabha Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana
हरे कृष्ण. शांति बनाए रखे.
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Girivaradari Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yamunatira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Girivaradari Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yamunatira Vanachari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Rama Shyama Sundar Radha Shyama Sundar Shri Radhe. Jaya Krishna Balaram Krishna Balaram Krishna Balaram Jaya Krishna Balaram. Jaya Gauranitai 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 Jaya Gauranitai. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya 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 Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. So now we will do Pramāde prayers, so everyone can bow down, touch their head to the floor. And Jai Vishnu Pad Paramahamsa Parivrajaka Acharya Stotra Sata His Divine Grace AC Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki, ISKCON BBT Founder Srila Prabhupada Ki, Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki, Anantakoti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki, Jai Prem Se Kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadatar Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki, Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopi Gopinath Shyama Kund Radha Kund Giri Govardhan Ki, Vrindavan Dham Ki, Mayapur Dham Ki, Yamuna Mai Ki, Ganga Mai Ki, Tulsi Maharani Ki, Bhakti Devi Ki, Harinam Sankirtan Yagya Ki, Samved Bhakta Vrinda Ki. All glories to assembled devotees. All glories to assembled devotees. All glories to assembled devotees. All glories, all glories, all glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Srimad Bhagavad Gita Ki Jai. So Hare Krishna. Thank you so much for coming and giving me your association here in this wonderful Balaram Hall. Reading from beautiful Bhagavad Gita, and today we have text 14.9, chapter 14. It's entitled The Three Modes of Material Nature, and we have reached the text 9. So we'll repeat the Sanskrit. Sattvam sukhe sañjayati rajaḥ karmaṇi bhārata jñānam āvṛtya tu tamaḥ pramāde sañjayatyuta sattvam sukhe sañjayati rajaḥ karmaṇi bhārata jñānam āvṛtya tu tamaḥ pramāde sañjayatyuta sattvam sukhe sañjayati rajaḥ karmaṇi bhārata jñānam āvṛtya tu tamaḥ pramāde sañjayatyuta Please chant. Sattvam sukhe sañjayati. Karmaṇi Bharata. Jñānam āvṛtya tamaḥ. Pramāde sañjayati. Sattvam sukhe sañjayati. Rajaḥ karmaṇi Bharata. Jñānam āvṛtya tamaḥ. Pramāde sañjayati. Ladies, please. Sattvam sukhe sañjayati. Rajaḥ karmaṇi Bharata. Jñānam āvṛtya tamaḥ. Pramāde sañjayati. Sañjayati. Bharata. Jñānam āvṛtya tamaḥ. Pramāde sañjayati. Okay, thank you. Now we'll go word for word. Please repeat after me. Sattvam, the mode of goodness. Sukhe, in happiness. Sañjayati, binds. Rajaḥ, the mode of passion. Karmaṇi, in fruitive activity. Bharata, O son of Bharata. Jñānam, knowledge. āvṛtya, covering. To, but. Tamaḥ, the mode of ignorance. Pramāde, madness. Sañjayati, binds. Uttā, it is said. So now translation and a purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Oh, son of Bharata. You can also repeat. Oh, son of Bharata. The mode of goodness conditions one to happiness. Passion conditions one to fruitive action. And ignorance, covering one's knowledge, binds one to madness. Okay, purport. A person in the mode of goodness is satisfied by his work or intellectual pursuit, just as a philosopher, scientist, or educator may be engaged in a particular field of knowledge and may be satisfied in that way. A man in the mode of passion may be engaged in fruitive activity. He owns as much as he can and spends for good causes. Sometimes he tries to open hospitals, give to charity institutions, etc. These are signs of one in the mode of passion. And the mode of ignorance covers knowledge. In the mode of ignorance, whatever one does is good, neither for him nor for anyone. Om Jnanatimmirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Staptitam Yena Bhutale Svayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Svapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Pada Kamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhamvitam Shcha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Padaya Krishna Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Padaya Krishna Bhaktivedanta Swami Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharna Nirusha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshitarna. Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prem Padaya Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gaurtvishyan Maham. Namo Brahman Devaya Go Brahman Hitaya Cha Jagatitaya Krishnaya Govindaya Namo Namaha. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Ram Ram Hare Hare. So we'll read verse one more time. O son of Bharata, the mode of goodness conditions one to happiness, passion conditions one to fruitive action, and ignorance, covering one's knowledge, binds one to madness. So Srila Prabhupada has written a short purport here, briefly explaining how these modes of nature bind the conditioned soul here in this material world. We know that the whole knowledge, the whole wisdom, whatever one can get from Vedic writings, can be categorized in three sections or three parts, which means Sambandha, Abhideya, and Prayojana. So Sambandha is actually understanding the situation. What is material world? What is Krishna? Who is Krishna? What I am? And what is my relationship with these other elements, material world, Krishna, and like this. So an Abhideya means that once I find out the real situation, what am I supposed to do? So that's Abhideya. Yeah? When I found out that I'm soul, I'm a spiritual being, and I have nothing to do with this material world, then I know, and I'm servant of Krishna, so I have to serve. So that's Abhideya. And Prayojana is the result, what we attain from serving Krishna, which is love of God and a personal association of Lord, and we can serve Him directly with heart full of love. So this particular verse describes Sambandha. It describes our situation. It helps us to understand the position of the material world and how Jiva is situated here. So there can be varieties of consciousness, varieties of entanglement depending on these modes. Here I mentioned three, but in combinations, because they combine, there is goodness, little bit tamas, goodness with little bit rajas, or tamas with little bit goodness. Yeah? So in that way, it is very, very many ways to bind, and many different qualities and likings and preferences or dislikes of the person. And we identify with that. We think that this is something I like, and I say, yeah, I like. But this is the mode of nature that influences us. For example, somebody in a mode of goodness is happy. So more or less he likes things. You know, if person is happy, he will not be complaining too much. He will accept things as they are, and he will like things. And it's said that he is satisfied in that way. So mode of goodness gives that inner satisfaction. So I'm kind of satisfied with things. And then it's also said that he's usually engaged, and again Prabhupada, 2 times in this, it's like one long sentence, and in that same sentence, 2 times he mentions word satisfied. Yeah? It says, a person in a mode of goodness is satisfied by his work or intellectual pursuit. And then in the second part of sentence he says, he may be engaged in a particular field and may be satisfied in that way. Yeah? So we can see that the characteristic of mode of goodness is that happiness and satisfaction. That person is satisfied. And it is good, that's why it's called goodness. Yeah? But the danger is there that when you are satisfied in a wrong place, yeah, because we just said that we don't belong to this material world. If you are satisfied in the wrong place, what will happen? Then you will not want to go to the right place. Yeah? You will think it's okay. You may not have that eagerness of breaking through and going, because already it's fine. Yeah? And then in a passion, one engages in many activities, and it's said he's doing good things. Good causes. He opens hospitals, schools, gives charity. So what's wrong with that? Why it's not something good, but it's called like a passion? Because generally, these type of people do these so-called good activities for what? For some gain. Yeah? To gain something. They either want to be famous as a good person in a society, they be shown in a TV, or everybody will respect them. They will also invite them for some functions. Or if the person is maybe even more, more pious or more intelligent, he will not think about these things. He will think, if I do all this, even if nothing I get now, but next life, that's where I will get something. Yeah? So that's why, let me give the charity, let me do the good things. Because if I do good, what will happen? The good will come back. So it's a very selfish activity. It's called fruitive activity in a bigger or smaller plane. And that's why it's classified by mode of goodness. Passion. So that happiness and satisfaction, as we mentioned, through goodness, binds one to this world. Yeah, as I said, we are happy here. What is the problem? And for the passion, how he is bind? By the desire. He wants something to attain. So that's said here that this fruitive action is the one that conditions one in passion, something to get. Yeah, and that is really very illustrative. When you want to get something, then you have to stay here to get it. If you want something from this material world, you can't go to spiritual world and get it. You actually have to stay here and get it. Yeah? So that's a passion. And tamaguna, it is just completely covered, no knowledge, and person is considered to be mad. And why mad? Because it's said here, he does something which is not good, neither for him nor for anyone else. So it's a kind of a madness. Why would someone do something which is not good for anyone? No? At least it could be good for me, but even for me it's not good. So only mad person can do like that. Yeah? So completely bewildered, completely engrossed in some kind of deep covering and have no clue about anything. Yeah? So in other part of section is written that goodness starts with poison and ends with nectar. Yeah? You do something, some sacrifice you do, and then you get some good result. And a passion, opposite, starts with nectar. You just want to enjoy, let's do. And then you have to pay for that. Yeah? So that's a little kind of a poison, like a burden. But ignorance, what is ignorance? It is a poison from the beginning and the end. There is no nectar in that. But such person still will think that he is enjoying. So why the person remaining in their goodness? Because he thinks he is happy. So that's why we can see here how modes are mixing. Because everybody has something of all these three modes. So that person who is mad and who is doing no good for himself and no good for others is satisfied. So little influence of sattva guna must be there. Otherwise, how can be satisfied? Someone who is completely not satisfied with such tamasic life will go out. No? But so like that. So this is what Prabhupada explains here in the purport. But to continue with this lecture, I want to share something very secret, which I haven't told to anybody. And I have a very special relationship with this chapter 14. And that thing which I'm about to tell now, I would never ever tell. But because I was asked to give a lecture, and then I saw it's chapter 14. And I'm thinking, so many chapters passed. I think the last one I gave was something maybe 6 or 7. And now it's 14. It could have been 13. It could have been 15. But it's 14. And I was thinking, oh, maybe some special thing is happening. So then I thought I should share the secret. And because it is something very personal what happens, then we don't speak. But I thought, no problem. Let everyone think what they want to think. Because chapter 14 has come, I have to say. It was last year. It was around maybe last year, around 1 month back. 1 year and 1 month. And I had a dream. And in the dream, Akashvani, the sky, a voice from the sky told me. And that voice I very much could recognize. Because this was voice of Aindra Prabhu. And he told me, you have to study this chapter 14 and you write a poetry about that. And I thought, oh, what will be this chapter 14? Because I was kind of forgetting all the names and which chapter it is. I was thinking maybe it will be something very esoteric and something. And now I'm open and it says 3 modes of material nature. I was thinking, oh, okay. So then I start reading, and then I understood that this is the basis and essence of everything what we know as transcendental and esoteric. This is how we go through and break through these modes, because the modes are the things that are not allowing us to actually understand the real thing that we have to understand. And then I understood it's a very great mercy that I have to read this chapter. So I was reading, and then I was thinking, how do I write the poetry about this? It's nothing like beautiful or nice. So like this. So for a long time, I couldn't write anything. But this thing was coming back to me, how I'm supposed to write, because he told me I have to write. And then one day, I just took everything aside, and I drowned into some kind of contemplation. And I started to write. So I would like to read you this what I had written, to share this. Okay, who is calling? So let me just find where it was. Yeah, so I would like to read you that. So there are poetry dedicated to each guna, and then there are poetries dedicated to one who is on a way to transcend gunas or has transcended. So we will start with sattva, then we go to rajas, and then we go to tama, because this order is here in the purport and the verse. So, sattva guna, it says, illumination of knowledge in all the gates. 2 ears hear the messages and get it straight. 2 eyes can see things as they undoubtedly are. The mouth eats right things and nothing bizarre. From inside and outside one becomes cleansed. The heart is happy, peaceful, and pleased. That's sattva guna. Okay, going to rajas. You want to build a palace costly, but at the time of death you'll have to shift. Passion won't grant you satisfaction. Unending hankering will be its gift. In the palatial house you will reside with all your precious family and kin. Enjoying life and company of loved ones, you'll stick together tight through thick and thin. Uncontrollable desire and attachment great makes your endless work so hard. Your plans are eating up your brain. At night you cannot sleep with broken heart. There is no end to your enormous strive, and now you look like suffering great deal. You need more gold to pacify your wife, and money more for children who just steal. The work in mode of passion starts with dreams that are so sweet and promising, but it's just nothing but a pot of venom, hard labor and perspiring. So that was Rajaguna. So now we're going to tamas. Where there is no light, there is dark, and the knowledge is absent from there. The luster is lost, in the eyes no spark, heavy load of madness one bears. No codes exist, there is only one's whim. Purpose is lost and no aim. Such a man is just tossed. Oh, good luck to him. He'll do whatever without any shame. Even if talent and a good skill is there, no endeavor will be made. This is an illusion, but who cares? The days in nothingness fade. Although consciousness is going on, no activity takes place. This is the ignorance. The man is gone. That's how to see his case. So that's a tama guna. Okay, now we need to go to someone who is beyond and above. Yeah? Because here are the modes. But what is the point of knowing about these modes of nature? That we can get out of them. Yeah? That we can elevate ourselves. Because Srila Prabhupada says that if we recognize by symptoms that we have some tamaguna, or we recognize by symptoms we have some raja or sattva guna, we can elevate ourselves. Because out of all this, still sattva guna is the best. Because, why? Because the knowledge is there. Even though we are satisfied, even though some pride little can come because I know better than others. Look at this tamaguna, nothing, useless. Look at this rajaguna, completely bewildered, only wants me, nothing. No? So little pride can come. But still, if we are having knowledge, means we have bright brain, we are intelligent, and it said that all the gates of the body are illuminated. So it's like a threshold to the spiritual life. That's why it's goodness, and then it's sattva and shuddha sattva, goodness and pure goodness. So that's why, so not just goodness because happiness, for our own happiness, but why do we need to attain this goodness? That we can open the door towards transcendence. That's why we need the goodness. Yeah. So for example, it said this Bhagavad Gita is like a treasure chest. It's a treasure chest. Yeah, chest, it's like a beautiful box which you can open, and there are jewels and gems, so much treasure, gold is inside. But where is the key? Where is the key? So key is sarva dharma parityajam. Yeah? Surrender unto me. So who will know this thing? Surrender unto me. Someone in Tamaguna who's said here, whose knowledge is covered, he will understand sarva dharma parityaja and get the key of the chest. Someone in passion who just wants me, I want more, I want fame and name, and next life I already know. Goloka Vrindavan, what is this? Walking with someone who doesn't have shoes and like this? No, I will go to Svarga, and there I will enjoy, everything is nice. Look at Goloka Vrindavan, so many beautiful girls, all belong to Krishna. Yeah? But in Svarga, I can also get something. No, this kind of person, will he understand Sarva Dharma Parityaja? Very difficult, no? But in Sattva Guna, something you will tell, and something will resonate. So for such person, to get the key to open this chest, it's the easiest of all the conditioned souls. For him, it's the best chance. Yeah? So that's why we need to raise to Sattva Guna. But not just that. The purpose of raising to Sattva Guna is that we can open this chest. Yeah? That's why. Because in other gunas, you won't even be able to read. No interest, no patience, falling asleep, friend calling. No? You sitting here since 5 o'clock listening to Bhagavad Gita. No? Which one in a rajas or tamas can sit like this? So, yeah. So let's read Beyond and Above. That's the title of the poem. Oh, was it this one? Okay. Since we have opened this, we'll read this. Okay. Goodness purifies. Passion gives pain. In ignorance, foolishness is all that you gain. First gives you heaven, second one earth, the last in the hell will make you take birth. Yeah? So first is which one? Sattva. Then second is passion, and the last in the hell will make you take birth. It's ignorance. In this world there are 3 binding ropes. They catch you, pull tight, and give no hope. All are bound, even the smallest of ants, in the goodness, passion, or ignorance. But you must know that God is above all this. If you look, you'll know things you won't miss. Correct perception will give you a chance to understand the Lord, and with Him have a dance. If you see these 3 modes everywhere, you can get out of them. Be free, I swear. You are saved from birth, death, old age, disease. You taste nectar right here with great ease. So this is inspired by Srila Prabhupada's purport, where he says, what's the importance of knowing about the modes? Because then you can analyze. For example, we go on a street and one monkey is doing all the monkeys do that same thing. Why? Because the mode of nature took over. Everybody is doing that. No? So somebody is fighting, and then I will also go, I will sort it all out. Why are you fighting? And I also start fight. I think in my bewilderment that I'm going to sort out the fight. But I don't understand that this mode of fight, passion and ignorance, is actually has influenced my brain. So that's why I developed desire to go and join the fight. Yeah? So like that. But if we have knowledge, and if we have that analytical power, which belongs to Sattva Guna, we will understand, okay, 2 people are fighting, Rajatama, I don't go. This food is Rajatama, I don't eat. This is that, I don't do. No? So we can analyze, and we can get out. Okay, now I have become very satisfied. I think that I'm just sitting in my chair, and I'm just chanting Hare Krishna like this. Maybe too much goodness binding, no eagerness of transcendence, no? So in that way, we can analyze, and we can cut them all with a sword of detachment, sharpened by knowledge. Yeah? So like that. That's why it's so important to know these verses. Okay. One more. Last. And then we'll read something also interesting. It is similar. How to break through. Because that we have to understand. That we have to break through. And if we want to do it, we have to do it, and then Krishna will help. If we don't want to do it, no one will force us to break through and get out of this material world. So it's very important. If you leave body in the mode of goodness, you will reach pure planets where sages dwell. There your life will be noble and spotless. For 1,000 years you will be happy and well. So this is what happens when we leave body in a mode of goodness. We go to higher planets, to even higher than Svarga, where sages live. And we live there for a long, long, long time. Yeah? So just hopefully we don't go there, because when we come back, then what's going to be on earth? No, there will be no more devotees. So better to not risk. In passion at death, you will go with those who always want more gain. In ignorance, you will be animal gross, living a life of a lion or crane. Goodness purifies, passion gives pain. Ignorance is a deep well. In goodness, you go to the higher domain. In passion is earth, but in ignorance hell. Material world works along these lines. It is set as firm and a hard rule. But if you see Lord, who is beyond and so kind, you can get out of this samsara pool. His nature of sweetness you will feel in you. You will be ready to run towards him. Go beyond the modes, break through. In the freedom ocean of nectar you'll swim. So we have to get out of these modes, and we have to learn to develop that eagerness to run towards Krishna with our hearts and yearn to have this pure devotional service unaffected by any kind of modes of nature, that we are not having any influence in our hearts with any kind of fruitive activities. We may think we do some service. Here in the temple we come. But do we have a really pure heart that I'm not having any gain? Even someone tells thank you. Am I doing this service for Krishna, or am I doing this service for thank you? Oh, nobody appreciates. I come for 10 years already and they not even give me Mahaprasad. No? So like that we have to be very, very careful, because very subtle things like this can come. Or very much philosophical. No? This also kind of a jnani type person also might be influence of mode of goodness. So this kind of jnani type actually kills the whole rasa. No? For example, there are many exalted personalities who anyway, it is a different topic. Like we all have to go back home to Godhead, and that should be our desire. But then there are very exalted personalities which are above any kind of material conception and understanding. So they have certain attraction to certain pastimes of the Lord. And some actually very much want to witness this Krishna leaving to Mathura because of that severe separation of the Brajbasis. Because in spiritual world, it's not happening, this Leela. So, and then you will speak that Leela, and you say that how Krishna left Vrindavan, and someone will come, Krishna never leaves Vrindavan. Yeah? So this is too much jnana, because he spoiled the whole rasa. The rasa was that Krishna left Vrindavan and everybody, the gopis, the Radharani is dying almost. This is to show how much strong is her love. And how much Krishna is loving her because of her love. And suddenly I come and say, Krishna doesn't live Vrindavan. No? So this is actually cutting through and spoiling the whole Leela. Yeah? So this type of jnani type people, very difficult for them to understand that sweetness. Or someone will say, Ravana kidnapped Sita. So painful, and Ramachandra, he went to rescue. No, Ravana, no one can touch Sita. Ravana didn't, it was Chaya Sita. So that they spoiled the whole pastime. No? The whole Leela is spoiled. Okay, no problem, Ravana didn't touch Sita. Okay, we can end here. No, we don't need to read the book anymore. So it's solved. We can solve things like this with jnana. But what is point? It's just spoiling everything. No? The tattva is there, no problem, let it be. No? But It should not be a predominant thing in our mind. The tattva is there just to establish our right path. But the real thing is a feeling, the refined feeling, not some kind of material feeling out of emotions or some cheap sentiment. It's a refined feeling. Yeah? So that's what bhakti is. And that refined feeling will pull us and push us to do more for Krishna. So because Prabhupada writes that bhakti is not sentimental speculation or imaginary ecstasy. It's a practical work. But that practical work is with feeling. Because if we really feel something for someone, then we really want to do something for that person. We don't just sit and say, yeah, I feel. Because feeling will push your senses to work. Your spiritual senses will work through this material body. Because that's how we function in this material world. So like that. So this type of bhakti, we have to be careful that we not too much philosophizing. No? It will not do any good. We also should not have any fruitive thing. Oh, I am very talented artist, so I will only paint. But someone needs to also do other seva. Of course, nice if we can engage our nature, but it should not be attachment. That we first have to offer everything to Krishna and then do. If we are attached to work, means that we keep the work for our own enjoyment, and we give what left from the work that we give to Krishna. But even the work we have to offer to Krishna. So in that way, that it becomes pure devotional service, unalloyed devotional service. Yeah? So, and this unalloyed devotional service should be uninterrupted. Means that our service should be unalloyed all the time. Not sometimes I remember and then it's unalloyed, and then I forget and again I do the same thing. So then it's still not pure, because some modes are coming. So we have to perform this pure devotional service, the one which is uninterruptedly unalloyed. So that's a thing. And I wanted to also read one very beautiful passage from Srila Prabhupada, from his Bhagavatam purport, where he actually talks about Shuddha Sattva, or Vasudev state. And in that purport, believe it or not, he mentions our favorite 14th chapter. Okay, so what he says, the living entity, which is us, me, you, everybody, is living entity, jiva. So he says it is constitutionally pure. So here we have to understand that really we are pure. We are pure. Asango hyayam purushaha. In the Vedic literature, it is said that the soul is always pure and uncontaminated by material attachment. So here we can see that all these attachment, desire, or impurities, it's not even us. It is the modes, but because we have somehow mistakenly identified with these modes, we think, or maybe or not even think, that this contamination is us. And I am contaminated and I need to get purified. So who is this I who has to get purified? I am soul. I'm always pure. It's written. So listen now. It's amazing. The identification. So why do we think we are impure? Because we identify with the body and the mind. So Prabhupada says, but this identification of the body with the soul is due to misunderstanding. So it's just a misunderstanding. Like I'm meeting you and I say something and you reply, but I understood differently. And then I go home and I think that you said something else. And then I call you, oh, you said this. You said, no, I didn't say. Actually, I meant that. Oh, sorry, it was misunderstanding. Yeah? So the same thing, this body and mind, that I am body and I mind, it is misunderstanding. So we just have to understand, oh no, it was just misunderstanding. I'm not this body, I'm not this mind. It was just a misunderstanding. I'm not this. It's a misunderstanding. As soon as one is fully Krishna conscious, it is to be understood that one is in his pure, original, constitutional position. And this state of existence is called Shuddha Sattva, which means that it is transcendental to material qualities. Since the Shuddha Sattva existence is under the direct action of the internal potency, in this state, the activities of material consciousness stop. So once we understand that this body and mind identification is misunderstanding, all the material activities stop. For example, when iron is put into a fire, it becomes warm. And when red hot, although it is iron, it acts like fire. Similarly, when copper is surcharged with electricity, its action as copper stops, it acts as electricity. Bhagavad Gita, chapter 14, 26 also confirms that anyone who engages in unadulterated devotional service to the Lord at once is elevated to the position of Brahman. Yeah? So how do we get through? One thing I said, we analyze, but just analyzing, it's not enough. We have to, in a glass of ink, pour a lot of water, so all the ink will naturally goes. We cannot just pour out the ink. We have to pour the water. So we have to fill our lives with devotional service. Not even 1 second should be without connection with Krishna. That's why Srila Prabhupada has established perfectly in ISKCON, as soon as you open your eyes early in the morning, Mangalarti. Yeah? There is no time, okay, today I'll sleep a little longer. This means already Maya. No? Prabhupada very intelligently, okay, 4 o'clock, Mangalarti, then chant your rounds, then Guru Puja, then class, and then we have now so many services, but originally what Prabhupada was asking everyone, go on streets and chant the Hare Krishna 8 hours, 10 hours, 12 hours, then come back, take prasad, sleep, and go again, same thing, Mangalarti and everything. No? So if you do like this, where is the hope of anything coming in the mind? Just keep doing. And what is the point of this Vasudeva state, of this Shuddha Sattva? Why it's called Vasudeva state? Because Vasudeva, another is the name of Krishna's father. Vasudeva appears from Vasudeva. Yeah? So, from this Vasudeva state, Vasudeva appears. That's why this pure goodness is called Vasudeva, because Vasudeva will appear. Krishna will manifest. Krishna will reveal yourself through you if you fully engage like this in devotional service. And we have to free ourselves from all this desire, from good things, bad things, this activity and that activity. And just to conclude, I want to read from this book. This is called Krishna Will Kiss You Also. I have, it is already 1-year-old book, which I published 1 year back. But still, it is so nice to read. And there are different sections. So here it's a section, Sambandha. And from that Sambandha, there is one there are not just one, there are so many nice things. Also, Sambandha meaning me, material world, and Krishna. What is our relation? No? So basically, what is our relation with material world? Nothing. No relation. With Krishna, very intimate relation. So Prabhupada says, people who have no knowledge of this material world, God, and their actual intimate relationship with Him, are actually going to the darkest region of material existence in the name of progress of material advancement of civilization. So, what happens if we don't have Sambandha, if we don't know that we don't belong to material world, but we belong to Krishna? Is said, we go to darkest region of material existence. That's the result. So then, there is one interesting, which I just had seen it. Let me see. Okay, another Prabhupada. No, we know many times cutting, because that's what sadhu does. Yeah? He says, the human form of life is meant for self-realization, to attain the Vasudeva state, that Vasudeva can appear. Yeah? So human form of life is meant for self-realization of what? Of one's relationship with Krishna. So this is the goal of our life. We have to realize our relationship with Krishna. Then, one who lacks this knowledge is categorized amongst animal. So we can see our situation. Who are we? And this Prabhupada says like that. Here, this is what I was looking for. This is all Srila Prabhupada's quote. Sinful activities are those activities performed in forgetfulness of our relationship with the Lord. So, we think about sin. No? We have to be free from sin. Papa. What is sin? Okay, sin, something bad. Maybe I stole, or I kill somebody, or I lie, maybe, or something cheating. But what Prabhupada says, that any activity which is performed with forgetfulness of our relationship with Krishna is sinful. And then he continues that in this material world, activities for material enjoyment which are considered to be pious are also sinful. So whatever we do, according to this quote, for our enjoyment, it is sinful. Only what we do for Krishna's enjoyment, it's not sinful. Because it is on a stage of Vasudeva. It's pure. It cannot be any sin, impurity, only in that Vasudeva state. So, please read Srila Prabhupada's books. If you if you're interested in this, you can also get it either from here or from the shop. And Bhagavad Gita, I have to take example of you, so much eager to hear. I need to also hear very much Srila Prabhupada, that I can attain the state of Vasudeva and perform pure devotional service for the pleasure of the Lord Krishna, and that to get out of my animal state, I can realize my relationship with him. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. If anyone has any comment or correction or chastisement, you can express yourself. Hare Krishna. Okay, thank you. Hare Krishna.